It's week 9 of my 12-week year trying to turn my book covers business idea into an actual real thing, which means we are entering the final leg. And I have to be honest, I'm pretty tired. Over the past 2 months, I've spent a lot of time making book cover products, getting my website up and running, trying to start promote on Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, as well as make these update videos alongside my normal YouTube content. I've been making these videos as a way to kind of keep myself accountable, but also take you inside the process of all the things that I've been doing, and as a way to keep track of my results, since this is also simultaneously a book review of the 12-week year. In case you missed the first 2 videos, I had made a full 12-week year plan using a template that I found on YouTube, which I will link below, of all the most important things I thought that I needed to get done during the 12 weeks to kind of start the business as a whole. The consistent theme is that I'm always falling behind because I have a tendency to overestimate how much I'm able to get done. But this was a pretty productive week overall. And that being said, let's go to the Notion. All right, so this past week was very intense. The one thing that I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't get done was start to reach out to book talkers and potentially some interior design TikTokers, since I feel like my book covers business can sort of cover both sides of decorative and like fan culture. I wanted to make some new designs this week, and I'm so obsessed, honestly. Like, they turned out, just made my heart so happy. I'll show you the picture. So I wanted to make a custom like wedding photo with classic love stories, with the absolute cheesiest of all the love stories. Ours is my favorite sign next to it, but like, to me, this is the good kind of cheese. This is the Gouda. And so I was just like, I was really happy with how this turned out, how the tinting worked. I don't love the border here, so I might be reworking this one, but generally I think they turned out really cute, and I finally listed it as an option on the Etsy website, and then of course it's an option as a custom cover on my personal website. And even though this was sort of a catch-up from last week, they're finally done. So one thing that I've really wanted to do during this whole process was make book covers specifically for different series. Now, that includes a fair amount of jumping through hoops, shall we say, to become officially licensed. However, you are able to make art and things inspired by series as long as you don't use their titles. At least that is my understanding. Copyright lawyers, please do not come for me. So what I've done here is make a sort of Terracin-inspired set for the Throne of Glass series. With the numbers here, like, I feel like this makes it work for the fandom site of my website that doesn't really have anything on it right now because I'm not officially licensed by anybody, but I feel like this was definitely a step towards it. I also brought them up here for you to see in the real person. It is quite heavy, but here she is. So that sort of covered the new designs as well as the product photos, because I definitely took a lot of pictures of both of these sets. And I also went ahead and checked this off because I've spent the past 5 hours putting everything on Etsy and trying to get the SEO a little bit stronger on these. I've been watching some YouTube videos about Etsy listings and how to make them better and stuff like that, so I've definitely been working on that. We did make a sale on Etsy last week, which was very exciting for me. And I'm hoping that adding not only more products, but also better listed ones that are more like focused on keywords and stuff that people are going to be looking for, aka actual books. And I've got just about everything listed here as well. The only thing that I'm really missing in uploading here is the stag set and these flower designs that I made last week, so I still need to upload these. I didn't get to any of the actual logo and branding stuff that I wanted to work on. For me personally, I feel like if something is going to go to the background, like, that should be it for right now. Because while I think it's important to build brand recognition, I'm not getting tons of traffic or traction right now, so I feel like it's honestly more important for me to make TikToks and stuff like that that are going to at least get eyeballs that can then start to recognize branding. So I'm hoping to do that in the next week, but I definitely thought it was more important to try to focus on traffic related stuff like SEO this week. I filmed this version of the video last week, which is this right here, and did 10 pins. They are all anxiously awaiting publication here. I did manage to post one TikTok, and I filmed a lot of them. I have a lot of footage to compile together, so I'm at least on a good foot there. I feel like TikTok is sometimes something that gets pushed for me on occasion because I'm like, oh, it won't take that long to edit, and I forget, like, yes, it does take a very long time. And then I also finally sent out my first email newsletter. That was very exciting for me. I was very nervous about doing that. Even though email marketing is like a huge part of my real adult job, it's different when it's you, because I haven't really spoken as me in an email before. I've spoken as a brand, but not really myself. So having to like actually introduce myself via email to these people who have, you know, downloaded a lead magnet printable thing that I had on one of my YouTube videos. They might not even remember who I am. I was like, okay. But it was really exciting. I had an almost 40% open rate, which is, in my opinion, pretty good, and a nearly 3% click rate. That's pretty standard, so I was overall happy with that. The main goal of this email was to reintroduce myself without being weird. I hope it worked out well enough. My main goal was to get some help and sort of just like poll the audience on what people want to see when it comes to book covers. So I did send out a Google form and then kind of told them what to expect from me in the future between book news, which by the way, Tahara Mafi is publishing a new book in the Shatter Me series, as well as book recs, writing challenges, discounts, obviously, and more stuff that I can think to send to people that I think will be interesting. And I'm probably going to ask kind of the same question on TikTok because I think it is easier for people to comment than to fill out a Google form and stuff. So I'm probably going to be asking the same questions of, do you like darker or more colorful stuff? Do you like more interior design vibes, or do you like fandom vibes? Yeah, it was very, very exciting to get that done. So between the two, I kind of gave myself some slack because there were so many things outside of my checklist. Every week I feel like I've been adding more and more things because it's kind of like, what's that saying? The more you know you don't know, or something like that. And you've got to like add on so many things to your list because you didn't even know that they existed or you weren't anticipating it. And for me, that was fixing the custom section of my website so that it can show people past options, specifically the like wedding photo thing. And then on top of that, I did have to edit my YouTube video for the week, and I ended up filming 3 videos back to back. That was rough. The amount of caffeine needed was strong. I'll be honest, I was like kind of nervous to post this, the book talk didn't ruin reading type of thing, because there's been so many people that I've seen talking about how book talk is messing up literature, and I really don't think it is. I only had one comment that felt a little pushback-ish, which they have every right to do. I am just sensitive. So between the 2 sections, I got 40% plus all of the video stuff, which does take a lot of time. And then on the marketing ends of things, I got 63 plus a few TikToks that are still in the works. So I should be able to check off these fairly soon. And the last section, the health section. I've torn my meniscus. Or so we think. That is why I'm not really going to count up the health section this time, because I wasn't able to work out, and when I don't work out, I don't eat as well. Because I'm like, what is the point? I don't need good fuel, I just want chocolate. But I noticed that my knee was like catching a lot, and it was swollen, and it wasn't hurting, but it definitely didn't feel good. And so between a few different teledoc appointments and my friend who is a PA, thank you, Emily, we've determined that I probably have some sort of issue or tear in my meniscus. It has gotten so much better this past week of just like not doing anything, despite the fact that I am going stir crazy. So I'm probably going to take it easy again this week and hope that it heals very quickly. I definitely miss my ballet classes, and I'm trying not to like kick myself too hard for missing them. But that is the wrap up for week 9. As we head into week 10, I don't know if we're going to actually reach this goal. I kind of see it looming in the distance, and I don't know if that's really possible right now. So far I've made 2 sales, so unless something just explodes overnight, probably not gonna happen, but you know, hoping for the best to get a couple more this week. Wish me luck. Goodbye. So week 10 was interesting, I'll tell you what. This past week was really exciting because I finally got 1,000 followers on TikTok, like today, which means I need to figure out how to put the links in bio and stuff like that. I hope it's available. Sometimes you have to like wait a little bit for TikTok to realize you've hit like certain milestones and stuff. But that was really exciting, and I feel like kind of relieving to figure it out. I had been stuck at, what was it, 776, I think, somewhere around there, for truly like months. It would be like, you'd get a couple, you lose a couple, you get a couple, you lose a couple. It was just, it took, I felt like I was like just treading water in the 700s with no way to get out. And I feel like what I'm doing now is not sustainable long term because it is like the whole follow for follow community thing, which I'm very lucky that the like reader and writer community is so supportive of one another. Like I feel like I've made like 200 new friends, which is super nice. So like I've been able to find these accounts that are also trying to grow, and they also like all the same books and they're all writers. So it's kind of nice to like follow a new account and know that you have 10 mutual friends and they'll kind of all know each other's content. So that's like been a fun thing. I just don't know like overall if that's the most sustainable thing moving forward. I'm hoping that once I have like kind of those numbers, that it'll help just like push content organically where people are following just to see content, not necessarily to like network, if that makes sense. So we'll see how it goes, but overall that was just like so helpful. I've been wanting that goal for a really long time. And I also feel like I found a TikTok strategy that works better than what I was doing, because I feel like with the book covers, I had 4 TikToks a week that I wanted to do, and they were always about the book covers every single time. And I was kind of hesitating to post a lot because I was like, people have already seen this, or they're gonna get annoyed seeing the exact same product over and over again. I only have so much that I can show. And on top of that, it was just like very time consuming. It didn't feel like a sustainable way to make content for me, especially if I'm going to be posting a lot. I know that right now they're like 3 times a day on TikTok is like everybody's golden rule. So I started 2 new like series, which has been so fun. Okay, first of all, let me show you. I feel like I felt so dumb purchasing these, but I now have those little baby microphones. They're in here. And one of these, it is a ring light that attaches to my phone. But it helps the quality so much. Like, what are you gonna do about it? So I've started doing Daubs of the day. That's like a big thing on Book Talk, is like your drink, outfit, and book of the day. I work from home, so it feels like my outfit is the same all of the time, and I take a long time to read, so it feels like my book is the same all the time. But I really actually enjoy making those. And on top of that, by the time I finish filming that, it's like 2 minutes. I just have to cut it up in InShot and post it. It's so like nice and easy and something I feel like I can actually do every day. And then the other series that I'm doing is like a 10-minute writing challenge. I've done this before. I have written significant portions of manuscripts by doing a 10-minute writing challenge where I only write for 10 minutes a day, because if I'm really busy, it's really hard to want to sit down and write for like 2 hours. So this is a way for me to at least get words on the page and keep moving forward. And this time I'm just doing it with like a throwaway novel. Like I really want something low pressure, because as much as I enjoy the book covers thing, it's a little bit of pressure. Like I really am trying to get it to work quickly, and that can sometimes weigh on me emotionally a little bit. And so I wanted something that was just like fun, I have no plans to publish it. Like there's just nothing there except for just like the fun part of writing. And I'm rewriting a story that I wrote 8 years ago. It flooded on my college campus and we were all stuck in our dorm rooms, and I wrote the most unhinged zombie apocalypse young adult romance, and I have loved that idea ever since. I just think it's like ridiculous, at least the way that I did it. And so I kind of want to rewrite it in a way that is like just fun. And so I've been doing that, where I'll just like record a little intro, show me typing, and then like post up whatever it was that I wrote that day. And that's been really easy to keep up with. So I'm hoping between those two and then posting book covers or other little like book related things, that will be a very easy and consistent type of thing for me. But overall, I feel like TikTok was kind of a win this week. Like I did put in a fair amount of like work and trying to really interact and engage and form that community with people. So that being said, to the Notion. So this past week for the social media stuff, I checked off all the TikToks, because right now I'm making like a lot more TikToks, not necessarily these, but like I said, I think what I'm doing now is more sustainable and will be more varied and interesting for people. I also sent out the email newsletter, so that was really exciting. I shared it to Facebook with a link to subscribe to the newsletter to try to like get a couple more people in, and that worked a little bit. And then also I had a lot of people share that post, which was really, really nice. I did not take more product photos, and I did not get the pins done. I'm hopefully going to catch up on those tonight. They don't take super long. It just didn't happen last week. And I love that I did this. I didn't realize that I did this until I looked at it. I checked off all of the none days, and they didn't do anything. For good reason. Outside of TikTok, one of the reasons I wasn't able to work on new designs this week was because I was updating the SEO on Etsy and also fulfilling some orders. It took, I kid you not, so long to package up these orders because it was like the first time I'd ever like used the packaging stuff that I bought. I took the packages to the post office today and realized I hadn't saved their addresses to put on the thing. So I had to come back home with the packages, make the labels, and then go back to the post. It was like truly a mess, but it happened. I figured out what I wanted to write on the thank you notes and the extra things that I needed to put in there about like how to wrap the book covers, the QR code to the video, all of those things that I just like kind of didn't think about with my first physical orders. I got 2. They were for the stag set that is meant to go over the Throne of Glass covers. And I did get another message asking if I could add the titles to those book covers. And I feel bad because I just like, I can't. I'm not officially licensed and I will not be dealing with Sarah's lawyers. So seeing the amount of interest in those covers specifically, on top of having people start to ask that, I do think that is kind of like, okay, it's time to like start looking into licensing, or at least kind of like poking the idea a little bit more seriously. I have covers that I want to try to design. That was one thing that I was working on, is I have ideas for all 3 of Sarah's series that I like the idea. They're very cohesive, but they take a little bit of like drawing from me, and it's taking some time. So the new designs are definitely in the works, and then they'll be pretty easy to add online. Definitely behind on the articles, but we'll get there. Whenever I make these videos, I do feel like these lists don't fully symbolize what I did during the week, because I feel like I'm constantly working on this, and then I look at these checkboxes and I'm like, nothing got done. Also, update. I blame my knee. I am going to an orthopedic surgeon tomorrow to figure out what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's a torn meniscus. All signs point that way. But I'm really hoping that the guy just looks at it and is like, oh, it's pretty run-of-the-mill. Like, just rest it, do these exercises, it'll be fine. Like, I really hope that's it. And then, of course, with YouTube stuff, I had an editor working on a video, but he didn't finish quite in time. I ended up sort of dropping everything Saturday night to edit a different video that I had so I could publish Sunday, which is my, like, posting schedule. But editing this one was really fun. Like, I reread Shatter Me. I haven't reread it probably in 10 years. I had such a wonderful time, like, filming it and then watching it back. Like, sometimes I'm such a goofball. Like, I had a really good time editing this, so it turned out fine, but it did end up taking like several hours this week to get this one out. But that's about it as far as the checklists go. I feel like a little more accomplished than what's reflected here, but overall, like, these are still very important things for me to be working on, so it's sometimes a good reminder that even though, like, I did get some wins this week that were exciting, there's still things that I need to focus on, and I can't, like, venture too far into the woods of TikTok. This week is a lot of the same stuff. I still haven't sent out stuff to influencers. And then also, it's on the docket this week, we'll see, to write and test a Facebook ad. I'm kind of torn between the couples photo one and the stag set, but I think I'm probably going to do the couples photo one because I'm still trying to figure out the price point for a lot of the sets that are like on their own. And I don't want to dig myself into a hole of not making enough profit on each set to you know, make money and stuff. This is definitely something I want to do. I'm going to probably need to sit down and figure out if I think this and like the interior design stuff is a better opportunity or time spent than looking at the licensing stuff. Because the Etsy shop this week, like after I did the SEO stuff, this shot up like a lot more visits, a lot more favorites. Like you can see, these are all the stag set. So that I feel like does show that there's more interest in this, or at least that my SEO is better on it. So things to figure out, but I feel like they would both be good to work on. I also still need to work on the branding stuff that I want to do. I'm having like a long, hard think about whether or not I want to rename this channel to Katsby Covers and just kind of do a spin on it, like Katsby Covers books, Katsby Covers TikTok drama, like that type of thing. Like it doesn't have to be like the book covers, but I think that might be the right move for me, because right now, if you were to Google The Great Katsby, The Great Gatsby shows up. Quite frankly, no matter how many views I get, that is going to be so hard to beat in a Google search. And it's the same in YouTube. Like if somebody were to come search out my channel and they were trying to type it in the search bar, there's a really good chance they just won't find it. So as much as I love the great Katsby. I think we might be changing to Katsby covers. That might already be done by the time you see this video. For the new designs this week, I really want to do some fall stuff as well. I decorated for fall, September 1st. It's time. Excited for this week. Hopefully we'll get a couple more orders. Hopefully we'll get the news that I haven't destroyed my knee. Bye! I've got 11 minutes on this camera, so buckle in. Week 11 went really well, I think. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how things panned out. But let's get to the notion. So week 11, we got a lot done. So I feel like I got my TikToks covered. I caught up on my Pinterest pins. There are a lot of ones like sort of waiting in the queue to publish this week. But it was nice to kind of see some of these numbers going up, that people are, you know, starting to look at things, which was really encouraging. Right before I started recording, I realized I had another order. One of these is filled, but one of them I got just today, so I have another order to fill. I did, however, get some fall themed book covers done, and then one of the reputation coded covers that I designed a while ago, but I'd never really like printed out or anything. So I have those printed and sliced. I just haven't been able to make any content with them yet, but I'm hopefully going to be able to do that tonight or tomorrow. So that will hopefully catch us up on the product photos here. I didn't get to writing any Facebook ads this week. It was just, I ran out of time, and I haven't added the fall set to the site yet, but I plan to do that very soon. And as far as reaching out to book talkers and booktubers and stuff, so for the newsletter I sent this week, I included a giveaway form because I thought that might be an easier way to kind of give away those free covers and get honest reviews without needing to also pay a fee for an influencer to do it. Because for me, I don't think the numbers matter as much, like on their socials. I just need to be able to pull a video or a review from somewhere and post it on my website right now, and then hopefully later I can kind of go more of the influencer, they have a lot of followers route. I just know that those are very expensive to work with, and I just am not there quite yet, but I felt like a giveaway and then asking them if they'd be comfortable to review or send pictures and stuff like that might be a good route. So I'm going to be giving away 3 book cover sets. Hopefully that will kind of get a little traction, maybe get a couple more followers. We also caught up on the blog, so I posted the home library ideas, and then this is coming out later this week. It's based on the YouTube video I did a little while back on anti-intellectualism in book talk. Overall this week, I just felt like I was sort of finally gaining some traction as far as like sales went, and feeling like I have a sustainable content creation method, because between Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Pinterest and YouTube, like there's a lot of me in front of this camera and it's time consuming, and I feel like I've kind of gotten methods for each of them and figuring out how to cross post in a way that like works for different platforms. I feel like I've got a plan that works for me, which is really nice. Heading into this last week, it is a bit more of the same as far as like what I plan to be doing, so I'm just gonna kind of keep chugging along and hopefully getting a couple more orders and reviews and things like that. And then I'm also excited for the giveaway because I've never done something like that before, so that'll be fun. And then I'll be honest, I am very excited to get to the end of week 12 and take a bit of a break. I still plan on working on the site and doing social media and stuff like that, but maybe not at quite the same caliber that I have for the past 12 weeks. But for this week, we're still plugging away. Wish me luck. Week 12 was like kind of wild in like a really, really good way. I feel like in this past week, everything sort of started to kind of tie together, especially in the area of orders. Last week alone, we got 13 orders, whereas beforehand, the entire, like, basically 3 months, we had maybe 4 total. So it's nice that things are picking up, and it's exciting. I'm kind of trying not to freak out. Printing them and cutting them and packaging them up and stuff, it takes time, particularly the cutting thing. And I don't want to make, like, processing time so long that people stop buying. But I also don't want to make them so short that I'm going to the post office 5 days a week like I was last week, or packaging orders until almost midnight like I was last night. So I'm really excited, and I'm also going to start looking towards potentially outsourcing printing. If you watched my previous videos, you know that printing with a professional printer was just like an insane amount of money, and I think I might have found a site that can do it and cut them to size, so I'm really excited to kind of like explore that moving forward. Oh, there's somebody outside. Oh, it's okay for Beanie. Oh, she's such a warrior princess. But overall, I'm really happy because like it feels like this is a potential business idea that's actually going to work and get to the point of making money, which that is the main sticking point. This is, I feel like, still my expensive hobby, but I see a way out. I think it'll probably take another like 2 months or something like that for me to even like really start seeing profit in a way that I'm like super confident in it making money all the time. So my biggest goal for the 12th week was to make $100 profit, and that did not happen. Like right now, I'm still very much in the red, but this past week, I think the Etsy listings made like $200 something. So like, that's what I mean when I say I could see it ending up making money. I think a major next step for me is really dialing in on how much I should be charging, because I think right now I'm undercharging. And I was sort of chalking it up as like almost an advertising expense, especially on Etsy. It's like Amazon. You don't want to buy something from someone who's made 0 sales and has 0 reviews. And so I was sort of intentionally letting myself like lose $1 or $2 on each sale, because I feel like it brings in a lot more customers. So if you kind of look at the like, what is it called? It's not like a lifetime customer value. It's cost per customer, something like that. It's like a marketing term, but in the part of marketing that I don't do as much. But overall, I'm still like happy with that decision, because I'm going to be raising the prices this week to a point that at least I'm getting paid like half of minimum wage per hour. And then as I figure out outsourcing the printing and stuff like that, that'll make things a lot easier, and I feel like I'll be able to make more from the business. But right now I feel like I'm still very much focused on getting eyes on it, which, speaking of, to the Notion / the computer, this is very exciting for me to see. Like, and I think it is because I was able to get a fair amount of orders in last week. These numbers are like, they're skewed. Like, don't think that this is within like, since the 12 weeks it's gone up 15,000%. It hasn't. I wasn't really selling anything this time last year. I don't even know where they got these numbers from. But as you can see, like almost 2,000 views in the last week. That's like wildly higher than it was before. But this past week, let's go to this column first because there's good things. So we finally did all the TikToks, all the Pinterest, all of the YouTube update stuff, sent the newsletter, and we are filming this right now, which means this weekly score, for the first time ever, is 100%. Yay! First and last time that'll ever be happening. Plus, with the added bonus, since we have 1,000 followers on TikTok, I can go live. I went live for the first time on Friday, and as much as I love to yap to the camera like this, I do love that I have a curtain of being able to edit things and being able to cut out the long pauses of me sitting and thinking between sentences. You don't get that on a live, and I'm honestly like just kind of scared to go live and just like kind of talk, especially if there isn't anybody asking questions. Like what do I talk about? In the same vein, I didn't think anybody would like show up to a live that I did. Like I just thought I need to go live so TikTok knows that I'm willing to use that feature. Because I think a lot of the time with social media, they reward users who are willing to like use all of their features or make use of the newer features. And so showing that you're willing to use them and willing to try them generally gives you a little bit of a boost. And so I did. This was absolutely terrifying. I did a book tattoo on fake skin because I wanted it to be like bookish related. And I was like, 2 people are going to drop in and it'll be fine. And do y'all watch lives on TikTok? I never watch people live on TikTok. Almost 300 people came through the live stream. And other than like a very small handful of people that I'm like close to, nobody has watched me tattoo before, and I'm not a professional. And when I say my hands were shaking, by some miracle, the line work in that tattoo was straight, but I was shaking so hard. But anyway, week 12 social media efforts, I feel like was pretty successful. So that was nice. Now for the rest of it. This week was mostly supposed to be me simplifying processes so that they are easier, less expensive, and less labor intensive. I enjoy working on this stuff, but I also have a full-time job. So I need ways to do this, better and faster and cheaper and all of those things. And I wasn't really able to do that all that much this week. And it was because I was filling a lot of orders, which is great, but at the same time, like it was really time consuming. And so that's why I did find a potential printer, at least for the ones that are selling. So like overall with the listings, we can we can go visit this. I've had a couple different ones get bought as like the digital PDFs. Those have been kind of scattered through different collections and stuff. But for people who want things printed, it has almost exclusively been this set. I'm looking to kind of outsource the printing and cutting section of it so that I can just package these up. And then today my task is to kind of raise these prices a bit so that I'm not losing any money, because now that we've gotten some sales and reviews and stuff like that, I think it's okay to try and make some money off of these. So I'm going to be doing that today. But yeah, so that was also an exciting thing. We have 2 5-star reviews now, which was very much appreciated. And I'm also doing a giveaway that I started last week. So in a week from now, I'll be drawing the winners, and hopefully a couple of those people will be willing to give reviews, take pictures of the books on their bookshelves and stuff like that, so I can get a couple extra photos to put on the website and Etsy. So as far as sending to booktubers, that hasn't happened yet. It's still on my radar, but I do need to fix some things. Now that I'm seeing like the processing times, I don't want to like overload too much by like working with influencers and stuff like that, so I need to iron out the rest of the processes before I really dive into something like that. So I'm waiting on this, and then I haven't gotten to the new designs. I'm hoping to do that this week, because theoretically this week is supposed to be a vacation week for me, because this is after the 12 weeks. I won't be fully taking off of everything, but doing the designs is something that's a little more relaxing than some of the other tasks, so I'm going to be working on that. And in general, I still need to put up the pumpkin and the reputation coded covers that I have. We did do the 12-week video edit for the second leg, which is now up here. That was a beast of a video to edit, I'm not gonna lie. So was the first one. But they are some of my like favorite videos. That's the type of content I like to see too, is like people like progressing through things. So it's been really fun to edit, but it took a lot of time to do that this weekend. Per usual, we still have some of the Pinterest pins, and it's starting to look like a real thing, which is nice. What was also really exciting this week was I had some people reach out to me through Etsy and then someone through Facebook about custom stuff. I'm continuing to look into ways to expand the email list, and then I'm going to be testing a couple different things like lowering the DPI on the prints and stuff like that, so I can see how much ink really needs to be part of the product and stuff like that, because ink right now is the number one expense. And then I also have other small things to fix, and I'm trying to find ways to make cutting easier. I will say I have gotten a lot better at using that slicer thing, and it's going faster and it's a little bit easier now and stuff like that, but it still takes a good amount of time, and it is a little bit anxiety inducing to be off a little bit. And if you go too far, then you have to print a whole new one, and that, you know, is a cost like that I just have to eat. So I'm trying to figure out ways to do that a little smarter, but they're all good things. Like, these are the best problems I could have hoped to have. I was worried that I would get to the end of this 12 weeks and just have no sales, nothing kind of like in the works, and that's not the case. So I'm really excited to kind of keep working on this. Like I said, it's not profitable yet, but I do see it getting there, and I don't want to give up on it. So going to be sticking it out, and I'll probably do an update video at some point, whether it's like a full-fledged profitable business or if it crashed and burned alongside with me. But it's been really fun to do this, and I am truly excited to take a little bit of a step off the gas. I usually like pride myself on being able to work hard and to be willing to put in a lot of time to stuff. It doesn't feel like a lot of time sometimes because I do love what I'm working on, but I feel like my body is completely telling me it's time for a rest. The knee situation, I got the MRI. I'm going this week to find out what is actually the problem, but it's not getting better. And between that and like the craziest thing that happened, we were like just literally like maybe 2 days away from the end of the last 12 weeks, and I sat in a massage chair and I was physically ill. I'll spare you the details, but for whatever reason, I guess like trying to get that many knots out of my back from sitting at this desk for so many hours every single day, I don't know, like my body just couldn't take it or something, and I felt worse than I have in like years as far as like nausea and sickness and stuff. It was wild. And so I do think that even if my brain doesn't necessarily want a break, I think it's really healthy for me to take one. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm still going to fulfill orders and stuff like that, but overall, I'm going to be chilling out a little bit. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for being here. This has been like one of the biggest projects I've probably ever done in my life, and having people who care about it and people who kind of cheer you on is very, very special and very, very helpful. And I will keep you filled in as things progress. Please like this video if you liked it. Click subscribe if you want to talk about more book stuff. My name's Katelyn. Thanks for watching. Bye. By the way that I found out that we made over $200 on Etsy last week was an email from Etsy saying that if I didn't register for taxes through them, they would suspend my shop.